Learners, how are you today? I hope you are all doing fine. I am Teacher Hannah, your virtual teacher in this video lesson. Come and join me for a fun-full learning experience in mathematics. And together, let us explore the first lesson in grade 8 math, which is factoring polynomials. Allow me to present to you our most essential learning competency for today, which is factors completely polynomials with common monomial factor. Factoring is the reverse process of multiplication. When we say factoring polynomials, it means writing it as a product of other polynomials. Here are the most common factoring techniques used with polynomials. We have the greatest common monomial factor, difference of two squares, sum and difference of two cubes, perfect square trinomials, and general trinomials. In this episode, we will focus on factoring polynomials with common monomial factor. But before that, I would like you to observe the following images. What is common to the given pictures? Can you give a description that is common to all of them? That's right! They're all red in color. Also, they're all good for your health. How about these pictures? What is common among these four? You are right. These are beaches. And specifically, these are some of the white sand beaches here in Pangasinan. What about these numbers? What is common with 2, 4, and 6? Correct. They are all even numbers or divisible by 2. In connection to this, in mathematics, we also have commonalities. Particularly in our lesson, we have the greatest common factor, or GCF. Now, let us have a recall on how to find the greatest common factor.
Let us try to determine the greatest common factor of 8 and 12. The first thing to do is write each number as a product of prime factors. So 8 is equal to the product of 2 times 2 times 2, while 12 is equal to 2 times 2 times 3. Do you see the same number in each factors? Yes. And we can encircle each pair to help us identify the common factors. So we have 2 times 2. Therefore, the GCF of 8 and 12 is 4.
How about the greatest common factor of algebraic expressions where there are variables and exponents? Let us have this example.
Determine the GCF of a cube, a raised to 4, and a raised to 5. Remember that a cube means a times a times a. A raised to 4 is equal to a times a times a times a. A raised to 5 is equal to a times a times a times a times a. How many a is common in the factors? Very good. There are 3. Therefore, the GCF is a times a times a, which is equal to a cube. Now let us try to find the GCF of 6x cubed and 12x squared. 6x cubed can be expressed as a product of 2 times 3 times x times x times x, and 12x squared is equal to 2 times 2 times 3 times x times x. Next, what is common to each factors? We have 2, 3, x, and x. Then let us get the product of these common factors. 2 times 3 is equal to 6, and x times x is x squared. Thus, the GCF of 6x cubed and 12x squared is 6x squared.
Remember that the greatest common factor of two or more monomials is the largest number that a set of numbers or polynomials have in common, and with variables having the least degree. We can use this in factoring polynomials with common monomial factor. Common monomial factoring is the process of writing a polynomial as the product of two polynomials, one of which is a monomial that factors each term of the polynomial. Let us have the following examples.
First example, let us factor 6x plus 4. The first step in factoring polynomials with common monomial factor is to find the GCF of the polynomial. To do that, let us factor each term into prime factors. For the first term, 6x, we have 2 times 3 times x, and the second term, which is 4, we have 2 times 2. Thus, the GCF is 2. The next step is to determine the other factor by dividing the given polynomial by its GCF. So we have 6x divided by 2 is equal to 3x, and 4 divided by 2 is equal to 2. And the last step is to express the polynomial as the product of the GCF and the other factor. Therefore, the factored form of 6x plus 4 is 2 times the quantity 3x plus 2. Second example, factor 28x cubed y minus 4x raised to 5. For this example, let us first find the GCF of the numerical coefficients. So 28 is equal to 2 times 2 times 7, and 4 is equal to 2 times 2. Thus, the GCF of 28 and 4 is 4. Then just get the common variables in each term, which has the least exponent. Since x is common to all terms, and 3 is the smallest exponent for x, therefore, the GCF of the variables is x cubed. Hence, the GCF of the given polynomial is 4x cubed. Next, let us divide each term of the polynomial by its GCF to get the other factor. By applying division and the quotient rule in the laws of exponent, 28x cubed y divided by 4x cubed is 7y, and 4x raised to 5 divided by 4x cubed is x squared. Lastly, let us express the polynomial as the product of the GCF and the other factor. Therefore, the factored form of 28x cubed y minus 4x raised to 5 is 4x cubed times the quantity 7y minus x squared. Third example, factor 12m cubed n raised to 5o plus 18m raised to 4n squared minus 15m squared n. Again, let us first find the GCF of the numerical coefficients. 12 is equal to 2 times 2 times 3, 18 is equal to 2 times 3 times 3. 15 is equal to 3 times 5. Thus, the GCF of 12, 18, and 15 is 3. Then get the common variables in each term which has the least exponent. Therefore, the GCF of the given polynomial is 3m squared n. Next, let us divide each term of the polynomial by its GCF to get the other factor. By applying division and the quotient rule in the laws of exponents, 12m cubed n raised to 5o divided by 3m squared n is 4m n raised to 4o. Next, 18m raised to 4n squared divided by 3m squared n is equal to 6m squared n. And 15m squared n divided by 3m squared n is 5. And let us express the polynomial as the product of the GCF and the other factor. Therefore, the factored form of 12m cubed n raised to 5o plus 18m raised to 4n squared minus 15m squared n is 3m squared n times the quantity 4m n raised to 4o plus 6m squared n plus 5.
And there you have it, grade 8 learners! You just have learned how to factor polynomials by getting the greatest common monomial factor. Now, it's your turn!
Factor 5x cubed y plus 10x squared y by completing this diagram. I will give you 10 seconds to answer, and the timer starts now. Time's up. The GCF of the given polynomial is 5x squared y. Next, by dividing the polynomial by its GCF, the other factor is x plus 2. Hence, the factored form of 5x cubed y plus 10x squared y is 5x squared y times the quantity x plus 2.
Did you get it correctly? Excellent! So based from your activity, how do we factor polynomials with common monomial factor? First, find the greatest common factor. Then divide the polynomial by the greatest common factor to find the other factor. And lastly, express the polynomial as the product of the greatest common factor and the other factor. Now, let us see if you really understand our lesson. Get your pen and paper and answer this activity.
Write the polynomial factor in the blank to complete each statement.
I know you can do it, math learners! Remember that it is okay to commit mistakes at the start. The important thing is, you learn from these mistakes and apply that knowledge to become better in math and in life. With that, I hope that you will keep on polishing your skills about factoring and apply it in your succeeding lessons.
For your assignment, factor the following polynomials by completing the table.
That's all for now, grade 8 learners. Again, this is Teacher Hannah reminding you to keep safe, have a nice day, and see you next time.